I am the biggest Anze Kopitar fan, I think, out there. Um,
It's only because you
he-
weigh more than me, but yeah.
This is LA Kings Fan Talk with Rodney, Rob, Darren, Mike, and Joe.
What's up, everyone? It's time for our 2024 LA Kings season preview. Kings finished the preseason and made their final roster moves before the start of the season. Those moves include Sammy Fagemo, or Fagemo, Jack Studnicka, and Phoenix Copley being placed on waivers for the purpose of reassignment to the Ontario Reign. And Drew Doughty, Arthur Kaliev being placed on IR, not to be confused with long-term IR, which of course means the Kings have elected to start the season with 13 forwards, 8 defensemen. And also, Mike, it sounds like your boy Andre Lee and your other boy Caleb Jones and your third boy Andreas Englund made the final cut. So, congrats to those guys, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the preseason. Rob, what are your thoughts? How do you think the Kings looked in the preseason?
well, started off with preseason doesn't really mean much, but I liked it. I kind of liked it a lot. I've been one of the voices for a long time about bringing in some little tougher guys. You know, some guys that can bang and throw their body around, and with the additions of Jano and even Lee, even though he's not banging around, he's just a big body getting on in there and stuff. And on the back end, I think Edmondson's gonna throw his body around. It's gonna be nice. Who knows about Burrows? How much he's really gonna play, but I kind of like the tougher guys. I mean, if the preseason's any indication of how we're gonna play, I think it'll be enjoyable to watch.
Mike, what do you think?
All the additions were good. That game against the Ducks, he strips the puck, right? Kind of pushes one of the soft Ducks players against the boards, takes the puck, gives it to Dano, and Dano passes to Thomas and goal. So looking forward to some more of that. I think Fogle is good too. I think he's a little tougher than he gets credit for. He's obviously a speedy guy, but he's got a little tenacity to himself as well. And then, like Rob said, Edmondson too. I think is a good add. It's like shades of adding Rob Scuderi, but a little meaner. I mean, he's already taken a couple penalties that were borderline soft calls, but him just being aggressive out there. So happy about that. I think him and Clark will make a nice pair to start the season too. So I can't get too excited about it because it's just preseason. Like I said, that first game they played the Ducks and they were just beating up on them, it's like, are we that good? Are the Ducks that bad? And it's hard to tell during preseason, but all you can do is win those games and move forward. So
Yeah, I was pretty disgruntled with the way the season ended last season. And then also with the moves Rob Blake has been making. So the summer kind of sucked, and I wasn't too impressed by the moves. But after watching them play in the preseason, they look pretty good. And we might not score that many goals, but we are definitely not going to get pushed around finally for the first time in a long time. But maybe we will. Maybe we'll score a ton of goals, right, Rob?
Well, I put out a tweet. We didn't tweet at all during this off season just because I don't know. I think there's a lot of the fan base just they think they know everything and they whine about a lot of stuff. I just felt like being quiet because, like I said, I'm one of the guys that have been saying, hey, I think we should get tougher. So I'm not going to sit there and complain about not getting big, sexy names and getting rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois and hell, for all I care, Doughty getting hurt kind of opens some things up as well. But the one of the few tweets we did put out there, I put out if these guys kind of do their thing, can Fiala score 20 goals again this year? Can Kopitar score 20 goals? Can Byfield score 20 goals? Can Moore score 20 goals? Jano scored 20 goals before. Can he do it again? Can Fogle do it? and then can Kempe score 30 is the one that I put out there. That's a whole lot of 20 goal scorers out there.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of balanced scoring going on out there. The question is which is least likely? And if you think they're all very likely to happen, then where does that put us in the standings at the end of the year? If all those guys score 20 goals, and you got a guy like Kempe that can score 30, are we in first or second place? Are we in third place? Are we solid in a playoff spot?
There's no reason why we can't be back in the top three. No problem. I don't see this team. We were at 99 points last year. I don't see us falling any lower than, 95, 96, right? That's like on the negative side. And I think we have more upside than that.
Here's a question for Rodney and Mike and anyone that wants to answer in the comments below. Out of our top 9, Laferriere, Kopitar, Kempe, Fogle, Byfield, Fiala, Jeannot, Deneau, and Moore, who is the least likely to score 20 goals or more? Rodney, what's your answer?
I'm going with Deneau. I feel like he'll rack up the assists this year with Jeannot and Moore, but I feel like he'll score just under 20.
Okay. Mikey?
I was going to say Deneau or Laffy, one of the two.
So, which is probably, I get it, but if Laferriere doesn't score 20 goals playing on a top line again, all you fans out there that just think he's God's gift, something's wrong with you if you can't score 20 goals playing first line minutes with Kopitar and Kempe. So I hope it's not him. I hope he scores more than 20.
Then he'll be Iafallo 2.0.
Yeah, and then Kings fans will be okay with it, right? I think Jeannot. I think Jeannot might be the one for me. He has scored 20 goals in his career, but not as of late. If he's playing, if that's going to be a third line-ish, and I don't know how much power play stuff he's going to do, he might fall short of 20. Which is okay if he's the one, because I think he's going to bring a lot of other things to the table. Hopefully that tenacity, hopefully a couple spears in goalie's guts. So, if those things are happening, then it's okay not to score the 20, right?
Yeah, and I think I said Deneau because I think he's going to be more facilitator of all of that, but I think Jeannot, Laffy are two good options. Just based on Jeannot's preseason, though, he's looked good. A lot of tenacity, and I think also he's in a contract year, so I think that's all going to help him. I think he fits better in our system than he does in Tampa Bay's system.
Yeah. Here's another question. With Laferriere, Kopitar, Kempe, let's call that line 1. Byfield, Fiala, Fogle. Is that line 2?
I would say for sure. And watching the preseason, they're getting a lot of playing time.
Yep.
Depending on how they play, they could almost be line 1. I don't know.
Okay, and it's good. This is where I'm headed. Okay, so that leaves Jeannot, Deneau, and Moore as our third line. Where will we be 25 games into the season with the lines? Are those lines the same, and are they still 1, 2, and 3? What do you think, Mikey?
So I think there's too much emphasis on 1, 2, and 3. So I think everyone's like flipping out. So I feel like, you read all the fan boards and all that good stuff, Twitters and whatnot, that they say Byfield and Fiala the third line, blah, blah, blah. That's not good. They should be second line. I think it doesn't really matter, right? Like, I think ideal situation is this season, all 3 of those lines are playing the same amount of minutes. I think that gives us the best momentum going into playoffs. Because it takes away from Kopitar's time, right? You don't need a Kopitar playing 20 minutes a night. There's no reason you should be playing 20 minutes a night. And it almost like I think, I mean, if you had to put numbers on all the lines, I think Byfield's line should be labeled as third line to start the season and just make him earn it, right? That's the same thing they did with PL Dumbass was on the third line and he was supposed to earn second line minutes, but he never did. He just complained about it. I don't like giving it to him. So it's like, hey, theoretically, you should be earning second line minutes. At the same time, Dano is like you're not going to take these minutes away from me. Like, I want these minutes. So it just creates competition within the lines. And I think the ideal situation 25 games from now is that all three lines are playing the same amount of minutes.
Rodney, what you thinking?
I'm thinking Byfield really impressed me this preseason. He looked better this preseason than I've ever seen him play before. And I'm not
Definitely.
just talking about his goal scoring. I'm actually talking about the way he's controlling the puck. I mean, maybe because they put him back at center, but he's almost like he's trying to be the heir apparent to Kopitar out there. He's running the plays. He's taking the puck up the ice. He's distributing. He's shooting. It's the first time I've seen him look this good. So I'm thinking if he keeps playing this way, I could see them getting the majority of the minutes, followed right behind by the Kopitar line.
Right. So,
I think it's confidence is like the key word you see with him. He has so much confidence right now.
so before I make a couple statements, I do want to get your guys' take on, Kopitar's been our leading scorer for X amount of years in a row for, what has it been,
Six,
75
he's like
years?
16 out of 17. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, let's just go with a simple one. Rodney, who's going to lead our team in scoring this year?
In a perfect world, nobody getting injured, I'm going to say Adrian Kempe.
Okay. Mikey?
Kevin Fiala.
Yeah. Okay.
Rob?
Um,
Rob?
uh,
Rob?
Kim Fiala. I think Kim. I'm hoping Fiala. Which brings me to what I wanted to say. I am the biggest Anze Kopitar fan I think out there. Um,
That's only because you
he-
weigh more than me, but
correct.
And I mean, I wore number 11 and you
Right.
were 13. So, you know.
Hey, actually, I have your Top Gun number 11 jersey in my bag right now.
Oh,
That's what I've
love
been
it.
wearing to my
Love
games.
it. Love it.
Um, he's looking like he's in his upper 30s, and I hope we can get another year out of him. I really, really do. And if he doesn't if his production falls this year, I won't be screaming, "Oh my God, he's got to go," or "Hey, he's got to retire," because I love him that much. But preseason, he's looked just a tad slow. He finally looks like he might not be our number one center.
But you can't do it forever, right? And it's very helpful that he has Laffy and Kepe on his wings
Right.
shooting fast.
Which makes me start to think too, if his production falls, what does he do? What does that do to Kempe? I'm hoping Kempe actually picks it up and maybe they could feed off each other and there won't be a downtick. But
I don't see a huge drop off. I still see him in the 70s, right? Points
okay,
wise.
if Kopitar scores 70 points this year, that's a great season.
Yeah. I mean, like they just had like a shorthanded goal the other day, right?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, he's slowed down, but he's still, I mean, if he's getting shorthanded goals, yeah, granted it's preseason, but still, I mean, not goals. He got an assist on that to Kempe, but it's like if he's still producing the shorthanded points there, he's still going to get a 70. Uh, and then back to like the combination of Fiala and Byfield, like I think them two together, I think Byfield's the one player on our team that can play with Fiala's creativity,
Yeah.
right? Kopitar can do it because he's more straight line. He wants to know where everybody's at. But I think Byfield and Fiala is a great pair and is a great pair for us going in the future.
So, with all the talk of production on our top nine and all that other stuff, I don't really care to bring up the fourth line. Kind of want to talk about production on the back end. I think last year one of our big struggles was defensive goals, not necessarily defensive, you know, production. But it seems a lot of the really, really good teams have defensemen, more than one, that can put the puck in the net. Um, Doughty scored quite a few goals last year for the first time in quite a while. But beyond him, we really don't have a back end that puts the puck in the net. With Doughty gone now, and that puts Clark and Spence front and center. I think I think the back end's going to be a little more productive than they were last year. And I know people might scream, and go ahead, guys, scream all you want. Put it in the comments. I think we're going to be more productive without Drew Doughty than we would have been with him. What do you think, Mikey? I know you're a big Drew Doughty fan.
I think it's erroneous on all accounts. First off, no, no. Kidding all aside. And like I said earlier, I think it's a blessing in disguise. Uh, you never want to see Drew Doughty get hurt. Like Drew Doughty is a great staple for our defense, and he will be for the next couple of years, right? He has been for the past, I don't know, it's like 16th year already going or something like that, right? Um, but it's if he's ever going to get hurt, it's better to have it happen at the beginning of the season and give these guys the opportunity to basically put their feet to the fire, right? Spence and Clark were both point per game, almost point per game players in Ontario, right? So now's their time to shine. I'm really high on Spence. I think he's going to do great. I think he has a lot of flashes of Slava Voinov minus the wife part, right? He's still single, so he's probably keep it that way for a while. So there's no Voinov issues. But he does a really good job of getting the puck up. He jumps he jumps in on the rush. And what he does good defensively is he has really good positioning to where he cuts off people on the boards, to where he blocks them out and takes the puck, passes it up the boards, right? So I think the points are going to come, and this is the perfect time for them, the beginning of the season, while everything's fresh, to get their opportunity and seize the opportunity there. And we saw it a couple years ago, right? Same thing happened with Dursey. We didn't think Dursey was going to make the lineup. Dowdy got hurt. Dursey got put up on first line minutes. Power play won, and all of a sudden he's now making what, 6 million, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
With Utah.
Was he part of that big trade we got? Like all those really good prospects when we traded him? Is that?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah. That
no, we
was
let him. I forgot we let him go.
Don't we get that in all of our trades? What are you talking about?
yeah.
Rod, what do you think of our back end?
Oh, and real quick, I don't think any points are coming out of the left side, so it's all on the right side. But yeah,
Gavrikov might get a couple.
I'm thinking it's kind of a blessing in disguise to get Spence and Clark some more playing time and more time on the power play. I honestly don't know how much they would have put Clark out there on the power play if we had both Daddy and Spence back there. So I think it's a blessing. I want to see how these kids step up. And really quick on Burrows, since he's the other ratty we have back there. Smaller guy, but he's got some feistiness. He just looks like a dick, with that cop mustache he has. So I'm kind of liking him more. Just watched him play in the preseason. So
Yep.
yeah.
So we've actually said it for past 2 seasons now, just about Doughty playing on the power play. We have power play issues, this power play issues, that. With creators like Spence and Clark, maybe that's what our power play needs on that back end. A kid that's gonna just create a little more with his feet, a little more, just thinking the game a little younger. Who knows? I'm just speculating here, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this too, Mikey, since you gave Spence a hand job with both hands. I still think Clark is better than Spence.
I think Clark could be better offensively, but I think two-way defenseman. I think Spence will be a better two-way defenseman. Clark will put up more points.
And here's one thing too, before everyone starts flying off the handle too, because this is the whiny Twitter, right? When I'm not allowed to say I think Clark is better than Spence because everyone thinks that means you hate Spence.
Yeah,
No. I love Spence.
Racist.
And
Yeah.
that's a good issue to have, right? Is who's better, Clark or Spence? Because they're both really good and fun to watch, you dumb idiots. So back off, back off.
And I think back to like the power play, I think when Daddy returns, so like I don't know, Daddy scored like 14 goals last year, right? 14 or 15. So he put up a good amount of goals. But I think like what you're saying, I wouldn't be opposed to Clark running the point. Dowdy's still on power play one. That might not be bad
Yeah,
because at some point I think all three of them should be on the power play, and maybe you're going to two defensemen instead of four forwards.
yeah.
Talk about the fourth
No,
line.
through lines, yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about the fourth line.
So first of all, congrats to Andre Lee for making the team. He in the history, the rich history of Kings of a Kings player showing up, not really expected to make the team. He's the latest. Who was it last year? It was LaFerriere last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats on him making the third line. Looks like he's going to start in game one. So Lee, centered by Turcotte, and everybody's favorite Trevor Lewis on the right wing. Mike, what do you think about that lineup?
Is he for sure starting?
Who? Yeah.
Lee?
I think he is.
Yeah.
I don't mind the fourth line because I envision it as a rotation of the four. So Thomas, Turcotte, Lee, and Lewis, and they're going to rotate in and out. Whoever gets in and out, right? Whoever's not playing well gets a game out. Somebody pops in. I don't see them playing Lewis every day, and they probably shouldn't. Obviously, they want to get Lewis to his 1,000 games, and maybe Lewis is the guy to start the season. And nothing wrong with Lewis, right? He played great last year. Like, I mean, there's nothing to argue about what he did in
Great.
the fourth. Well, great for a fourth liner, right? Like, I mean, what do you want from him, right? He shows up, and the PK, all of a sudden, the numbers go up, and we have a great PK. I mean, there's correlation right there, right?
Glad we had a great PK because we had a horrible PL. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, everybody knows that. But anyways, so I don't mind the rotation. I think he starts in there, Lewis starts in there, and then eventually, ideally, right, by season's end, he gets his thousands game, and the line eventually is Lee, Turcotte, and Thomas, and then Lewis can pop in playoffs or whatnot, whatever you need him.
do you think Hiller would have the balls actually to sit Lewis? He always wants a veteran presence on that fourth line. He doesn't want to play all the kids down there. But do you think he would actually sit Lewis and put who am I thinking of? Akil up there on the fourth line, or do you think he would rotate out like Akil with Turcotte or Lee instead?
I don't know. You're talking about a guy that played all 82 games last year,
That's true.
and he was brought in just at play a little power penalty kill and still kind of mentor some of the younger guys. But he played all 82 games. I hope not. I hope he doesn't play all 82 games this year. I really don't. And here's another one too. I correct me if I'm wrong. England play all 82 games last year too.
Yes, you did.
So here we are last year, two guys that played every single game. It's a good thing that they don't this year because that means we have guys that are better than them, right?
Well, I think it goes back to like what I said earlier about Deneau and Byfield taking the second line from Deneau. I think it's basically one of those three guys needs to take it away from Lewis, which is a good
Yeah.
thing, right? That's what it
Right.
should be, right?
Will Turcotte last? Can he play fourth line? Can he be a fourth line grinder with the type of skull he has?
Not gonna lie, every time he gets hit, I'm like, don't get hurt.
Yeah, there was two or three close calls already in the preseason. I'm like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this it?
I think Lee helps that because Lee protects him a little bit because he's a big body, but I don't know.
Who's the next call up if he does get injured? Is it going to be Hellenius, who had a great camp, or will it be a Fagemo if he clears waivers?
I think it's between Hellenius and Stanika. If it's Turcotte, because Stanika plays center.
Um, I want to give a little love to Kill Thomas though. At the end of last season, man, he made the most of his chance. He played really well.
He did.
He deserves to be with us right now.
Definitely. And he's overcome a lot of injuries to not the same as Turcotte, not head injuries, but shoulder injuries and surgeries. So
Yeah.
Um,
Fagimo getting called up for fourth line stuff. It puts the way I feel about Fagimo is the same way I feel about Kaliev, where I don't want them playing fourth line. I'd rather maybe we should trade them. Maybe we should do whatever. Or maybe we should just let Kaliev play. I don't know. Um, but just not on the fourth line.
I just
Yeah,
feel like there's
and
no
if you're gonna
market for
play
them.
either one of those, put them on the power play. That's the other thing.
Yes.
We don't have any one-time shot people other than those two really on our team.
So that game, the first game against Anaheim, I watched as Kempe tried again and again to feed Fagimo. And he got off like three one-timers, but never scored. And I
Yeah.
think they were trying to make the point to like, hey, you need to score some goals here because
Yeah.
you're on the cusp. And I
If
don't think there's a trade market for them, Kaliev or Fagimo.
but it's I'm gonna circle back to one of the first things we're talking about, LeFerrier being on the top line. I I'll argue till I turn blue with anybody that if LeFerrier doesn't score 20 goals, um Fagimo, I don't Fagimo would score 20 goals if he played top line minutes with Kempe and Kopitar. He would. 100% he would. And last year, LeFerrier did not. How many goals did he score? 13? How
I
many?
think so. But he
Okay.
played with PLD, so
But still, he played top line minutes. He didn't play fourth line. And everyone was just like, "Oh my God, he's so good." No, he was an okay rookie. And if he's going to play on our number one line with our superstar center and our best winger, he better produce. I don't want to hear any LeFerrier is, oh, it's his second year, he's still learning. No, if he's going to play where he's playing, he better produce.
I agree. My only issue with Fagimo is we just put him on waivers, and if he clears again, that means nobody else wants him, right? Nobody else wants to take a waiver on him. And he got claimed by Nashville last year, played with Nashville, and they also put him back on waivers.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's just a Kings thing. I
Sure,
think he's
whatever.
just
No, that's neither here nor there for Fagimo. I'm just my point is more about LeFerrier,
yeah, I
less
got you.
Fagimo. I'm saying Kaliev could play in LeFerrier's spot
I also disagree on that.
score 20 goals. He scored just as many goals as LeFerrier last year and only played 56 games, fourth
Yeah,
line minutes.
but I don't think he could skate on Kopitar's line. He slows down Kopitar's line too
I
much.
think he can.
I guess we'll never know.
I guess
Yeah,
we'll
we
never
will
know.
definitely never know. Yeah. Uh,
It's weird. He
I don't
can't.
think there's I don't
Hey,
think
he's
there's
a
any
one
trade
trick
value.
pony, and he can't skate, and he can't do this. Yet he still scored 13 goals in 56 games. Weird. He can't do anything.
Well, if we're gonna talk about guys that have scored on the top line, can you imagine if we brought back Martin Firk and put him on that top line?
Fagimo's Martin Ford 2.0. So that's like, and you know it's gonna go there. Hey, but like I said earlier, nice power move by Kopitar, right? I think he gave Laffy one of these and put him on his shoulder. He's like, "Hey, change your number to 14 so I can pass you the puck." Give me old flashbacks of Justin Williams.
Right. Give me that
No
Mr.
need.
Game 7 mentality.
Yeah, none of this 78 shit up here.
All right, let's get into the defensive pairings. With Doughty gone, how are you guys liking the Anderson Spence pairing? Mike, what do you think?
I think it looks all right. It's the most, I would say, logical pairing of all of them. I think obviously Anderson's going to get top two lines for us minutes on the defensive pairing, and I think Spence of the three probably earned three right-handed defensemen earns it the most, being here last year and being a stable defenseman. So I think he gets his shot first, and then they seem really adamant about keeping Clark with Edmondson, so which I don't mind, right? It's flashbacks of Scuderi Doughty, so run with it.
What do you think, Rob?
I'm I like it. Um, I don't want to say I'm anti-Dowdy.
Just a hater, yeah.
I'm just a hater, I guess. I don't. Sure, say that. I think the young
Wait,
kids like how
real quick. Honest answer. If I wasn't the biggest Dowdy fan, would you like Dowdy more?
no, it's I'd still feel the same way. I like how agile. I like how slick Clark and Spence are. I like the way they think the game. I just I'm just big fans of the young guys. I really am.
What about Burrows moving up on to play with Gavrikov? How you like that pairing? Go first, Mike
Well,
or Rob.
I'll go
well,
around.
this is the one. This is the one that uh, Burrows is the big question mark for me. Um, I would hope to see that he brings the toughness. I hope he brings the tenacity right, and he needs to do it every single time. If he takes a night off, then he needs to be given the next night off. I mean, he needs to understand what his job's going to be as back there. Um, I won't join whiny Twitter right now and scream and yellow. Yeah, no, I will. Moverare, I'm sad about Moverare. I
Dude, totally.
thought he was so capable. I just thought he was so serviceable at such a cheap price, big body. Just even in the one game that he played his off, he did such a good job. Man,
He
I hate
that
to
that
see him
one
go.
goal, he walked the line, right?
Yeah.
He walked the line perfectly from the right side, put that shot on net, and then they buried it.
So
I agree.
Burrows Burrows is probably going to take a brunt of a little side eye from me if he doesn't. He's going to need to bring something that Moverara couldn't bring, you know, which is the drop the gloves, maybe butt end somebody in the face, stuff like that. That's how Burrows needs to earn his keep there because if he's just going to try and be a solid stay at home whatever, I don't think he's all that great at that where Moverara could have been. So, but Gavrikov obviously, I to me Gavrikov's probably our best all around defenseman. So really doesn't matter who's with him.
I almost feel like Rivara should have been up over England.
Well,
Well,
England bring, but
yeah.
England brings something
Toughness,
that
I know.
Jacob doesn't, right? So
But if Edmondson's bringing that and Burrows is bringing that, it's like, do you need a third guy bringing that? Versus, I think Morvar is more. He's a better defenseman, right? And he can play. He's shown he can play both sides. You're
right,
not going to put England on the right side, right?
right, but right now we can't really speak too much about that because Movara is gone and
Yeah.
England is here, right?
If it was me, I'd rather have Morvar up over Caleb Jones because he was drafted by us. He's a king.
Over both
Like,
Caleb and England, right?
yeah, yeah. To me, like he's above both those guys. And if you're gonna have to send down one, I would send down Jones and keep up.
And I'm with you, Mike. I got him over. We've already seen him. He's already
Yeah.
come up and done the job for us multiple times. I can't sit here and think of, oh my God, Moverara lost us. He lost the game for us. He was as serviceable as a defenseman can be at league minimum.
You know who he reminds me of? Jeff Schultz came
Okay.
in and basically won us. He helped us win the cup because he came in when we had some injuries and he played solid. So yeah, I think it's very much like that. But I just I feel bad that he's the guy has to go down, right? Like he's
Yeah.
put in so much time with us, and he's the guy that has to go down. Lower
Yeah.
cap hit, and he's drafted by us. So I feel like that should be the guy who should be up, and not the other guys.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to that third pairing, Edmondson and Clark. I remember this when we picked up Edmondson. We had a lot of haters saying,
Yeah.
"What are you doing picking up this useless pylon?" And on top of that, paying him that much money. But from what I've seen in the preseason, it looks like a pretty solid pairing, and he looks pretty good anchoring that line and then letting Clark run around and do his thing. I don't know, Rob. What do you think?
Yes, for sure. I mean, Edmondson and Clark. I just if that's our third pairing, I our defense is probably pretty good. So going into this, losing our franchise defenseman, you would think we're in trouble. I don't think we're in trouble on the back end. If Edmondson Clark is our third pairing, we're in a good spot.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I just look at that. I mean, talk about the defense in general, but if you look at that game against Boston, the preseason game, I mean, how many shots did they have on net? Like we did a great job defensively against them. Uh, I like the third pairing. Again, Edmondson, I was kind of seemed like a lot of money and seemed like long term, but when it comes down to it, like I don't know, what's the cap at 92 this year? Next year it'll get closer to 100, probably like 95, 96. He's going to be 3% of the cap when it comes down to it. So it's like at that point, if he gets too old and too slow, you could just buy him out. But for right now, he's the perfect defensive we need. Uh, he's the physical. I'm talking about the physical element that like this team's trying to bring back, which I completely agree with. Uh, he's already taken a couple penalties during the preseason. We're kind of ticky tack calls, but it's like I'd rather you throw that cross check and that take a
With
bad call.
that moving pick, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty funny too. But it's like, it's the old, Dean Lombardi said it, right? Uh, rather tame a tiger than paint stripes on a kitten, right? So I'm cool with it, right? Like he's aggressive and that's what we need. He's gonna be tough out there. And again, that's what the Kings need right now.
All right, let's talk goalies. There was a time where we had nothing in our pipeline as far as goalies. So it's starting to look a little better with Portillo, some draft picks we made. But for this year, with Kemper and Rittich, what do you think, Mike?
I think it's better than last year. I think Kemper is a better goalie than Talbot. So I mean, it's not significant, but it's going to be better. We play a very defensive system, so he's going to shine. Everyone that's like, oh, Kemper had horrible numbers in Washington last year. It's like, well, Talbot had horrible numbers in Ottawa the year before, and Corpusella had horrible numbers in Columbus till he came to us. So it's like you come to the LA Kings, you're gonna get your numbers are gonna get boosted. Um, so I think our goaltending is better this year than it was last year, and that's all that matters. Is it significant? No, but it's definitely an upgrade. And I also think it kind of positions us perfectly for the future because from where it looks, right, Portillo looks like he's the goalie of the future. And hopefully he's backing up next season, if not pushing for starting. And by the time Kemper's contract's up, Portillo's contract or his new contract will kick in. So the timing's perfect. It's just all gonna line up as it should.
What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I'm actually a Kemper fan. I like his style of game. Um, Rittich is a capable and good backup. I think we're fine in between the pipes right now. So hopefully health stays with us on our side and we won't have any issues.
Go.
No,
How do you guys feel about the jerseys?
um, I don't like the way they wear, like what they look like on fans, but they look nice on the ice on the players. But the white stripe is way too big for my liking.
Yeah.
It is.
But
I
it
think
doesn't look
everybody
that
agrees
bad.
on that,
Yeah,
except for
It doesn't
Kings
it,
management and
yeah,
fanatics.
it doesn't look that bad on the ice. Like it does like
right,
it's slowly like I'm like noticing it less and less.
right.
I shared that photo. Like I bought a jersey, the premier jersey, then returned it, and I don't know why, but it looked like the bottom flared out like a dress. So I don't like it. Like Rob said, like on a fan.
Right.
You don't notice it so much in the jersey, and maybe it's the authentic one is fits better. Blah blah blah. But we'll see when
Like
I get the breakaway one.
lightning round. Rodney, go.
All right. Where did the Kings finish this year? Mike, start.
Second
Quick.
place.
Ooh. Third place.
Third place. But I am looking forward to what can be unburdened by what has been.
To know over or under 50 points.
Dano?
Yeah, to know.
I say he'll He'll get over.
Exactly 50.
Wow, I like that.
I
51.
was thinking like 52 to 55, so it's perfect.
Who gets more?
Hempy.
What?
Hempy, over under 35 goals.
I'll take the over.
Just under 35. All right, who gets more penalty minutes this year? Edmondson or Jeannot?
Gino.
Gino. I think he's going to throw some fists out there, so he's going to get some penalty minutes.
Turcotte, over under 12 goals.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else.
I think you're over under games.
I'm saying he gets 9 to 10 goals.
Yeah, I'm going to put him at like 12.
That'd be great. I'm thinking more like 6. I just doubled what I think he was going to do just to see the Turcotte lovers. Less than a minute. Any other ones?
Clark over under 45 points.
Over. He's going to impress.
Over.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll take the over. Yeah, I'll take the over.
All right, I think
He's
that's
gonna
it.
he's going to get those minutes.
He needs the minutes to do it. He needs the power play minutes to do it. And
I think he's going to get them and keep them. And like I said, I don't mind Clark running the point and Dowdy off his wing.
Yeah.
PP1.
All right, Kings fans, that is our show for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, cross-check that notification bell. Until next time, stay classy. Go Kings, go!
Go Kings.
Screw the Padres.
Yeah.